And we're live. All right, so while the game is booting up, maybe I should just talk a bit about what? Talk a bit about myself? Well, yeah, yesterday was my very first stream, and it's exciting. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I've been consuming great gamers' streams for a while, also great software engineers' streams for a while. And I've been thinking about streaming not just as a practice, but also in terms of what does it mean for new tools. And, you know, in the COVID era, actually, you know, it's definitely constraining in a way that also hopefully can spark some creativity in the digital domain and internet stuffs. And yeah, so actually this game looks like it's, oh yeah, it looks like it's not responding. Lovely. No, it is responding. Okay, great, excellent. So this game, well, this game is really awesome. I've been, I saw some streamers, I caught some streamers playing it in its in its alpha release, and it was released just a few days ago. And just judging on what was going on Twitch when I was looking at the tags, it looks like all of the big streamers have picked it up, especially the ones who do RTS and like base building, world building type games. So yeah, I got the game when it went out and started playing it, and I was so happy with it that it actually gave me a little kick in the butt of thinking, well, actually, you know, you like it so much, why don't you stream it? And so I got myself set up for it, and I am now streaming it for the second time. And yeah, so this save is actually fairly far along in the game. I've got most of the tech tree at like level 4. I think maybe there's 6 levels. I've got terraforming sort of in the works. But yeah, it's a really good game. I think it's I'm looking forward to playing it more and seeing what also the end game looks like, because we only have like, you know, less than maybe a quarter of the planet actually scouted, so there are lots of areas to unlock. And yeah, so I'll maybe stream for a couple of hours now, and yeah, so let's get it going and let's wake up. Okay, so as I was saying, this is the parts of the planet that we have unlocked so far. So it's only 3 of the areas actually, and I'm not sure how to unlock the other ones. a pretty exciting thing is that we finally got the space elevator research done, which means that actually a few of our spaceports are actually idle right now. So one is taking care of migrations of colonists. I don't necessarily think we need much more of this because we don't quite have the food to support this. So terraforming, it looks like we're actually pretty much already done on the oxygen side of things. I think because we're under 300 millibars of the rest of the gases, actually it doesn't get us to the next step. Oh no, actually temperature to 0 degrees and water to 400 meters. So that's the main reason why I actually don't want to get terraforming too advanced, is because it's going to remove a whole bunch of resources. It might open up and unlock the other areas, but for now I think I'm still figuring out the game, especially with like a lot of the actual resources and being properly produced, and for instance, the system is not sustainable enough or reliable or stable enough right now to maintain a good food production, for instance. So I'd like to get there first before I start further upsetting the balance of things with moving further along the terraforming stage, because actually terraforming influences, as I figured out, as I was quite surprised by and also enchanted by, because it's really adding a lot to the game. Terraforming adds constraints, because when you have more oxygen, actually you need more maintenance because your metal is going to oxidize. And that is so smart, and I really like the concept. And it means that, once you start getting oxygen into the atmosphere, then you need to care much more about your maintenance. So your maintenance bots and your workers and your buildings will deteriorate faster, and so that means that puts more pressure on the maintenance facilities to produce maintenance drones and to keep them active. And so that in turn requires more resources going to the maintenance facilities, and so that changes as you move through the terraforming stages. It changes the type of resources that are needed. And also I'm streaming. I've downgraded the streaming to stream at 1080 because I found out that sorry, this is a streaming note, but I found out that that you can only do multiple resolutions for Twitch with an affiliate status, partner status. I don't know whether those are different yet, so I haven't looked into this. Anyway, why is Space Elevator still available even though I've actually... oh. So I thought I completed that, but I think... oh yeah, it's one new Space Elevator available. Right. So I only made one. Okay. So yeah, let's go for a little, going a little bit closer and taking things first at the 30,000 feet view. Now that we had the space view, so now let's do the 30,000 feet view. So here we have a little bit of carbon and iron production area, and those green lines here are hyperloops. They help shuttle resources faster than the workers. Here I thought maybe we'd have some water, and actually we did end up finding like a nice water source, so maybe this will be our water source, because that's the main limiting factor right now, it looks like, for producing food. So we could still make things a little bit more efficient. It was quite efficient a few sols back. Now it's not that efficient again. But the main difficulty right now, I think, is finding the raw resource, because that doesn't allow us to grow otherwise. It could be that we're actually sort of constrained by the game in itself. It won't show us large amounts of resources until we've let me switch to the resource. Yeah, the resource. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the resource view here. I might have to restart my my computer because it seems like it's quite laggy, much more than yesterday. Even though I actually downgraded the resolution, but it could be that it's actually using the CPU to do the downscaling. Yeah, so there's no option that I could see to do that with the GPU, which would be the best. But anyway, yes, there's a big natural reserve of water there to put water extractors as well as here, but those are inside locked sectors. So it could be that we actually need to progress on the campaign mode, meaning probably going to the next stages terraforming in order to get access to this water extractor zone. I mean, it is also a little bit weird that we can't actually just tap on the existing water that started to show up on the actual map. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe I should do a little internet search, but right now it looks like only, let's take a look at the knowledge base. Resources, primary, water. On Mars, there's water in the atmosphere, in the subsurface, in the polar caps. Water extracted, we keep fetching water from the Martian underground and supplying it to your colonies. Yes. So requires water deposit, and it looks like we don't have any other alternative option right now. So it is the way it is, and the new water source that I was talking about is here, and it's like 2,000-ish resource, right? Let's look at it again. Oh, 1,200. So it will get us going for a little bit. What else do we have? We have this little cluster here, which used to be around a research outpost that I think has been researched now, so that's all good. And we have this upper area which was occupied by this adversary AI, which from the storyline it looked like maybe it could have been like fringe consciousness of ourselves, but I actually doubt that. I think we will discover other enemy bases elsewhere on the planet, but that was nice because there's really lots of areas here, and we couldn't have done without especially the aluminum that's here, and we've actually started doing carbon and iron extracting to do steel here as well, which helps us maintain our parts and therefore worker production, because workers, as I found out progressively, are really the key to getting efficiency. So when you have something like aluminum, for instance, here, and it tells you that right now we have 78% efficiency, so we're only producing 36.3, whereas we could be producing 46.2. It means that just our workers currently are maybe occupied with other things, you know, depending on special projects and whatnot. Workers could be allocated to transporting things to the spaceports. So all of that will affect the efficiency. So for instance, it could be that, you know, either I've like 30 souls ago or so on, either maybe a special project finished, and so all of a sudden workers become available, and so efficiency starts going up again. Or in areas I've also started ramping up the worker hub, spawning worker hubs, so that it actually generally increases production or efficiency. So let's take a look at resources in general. So here, aluminium, actually, I think it's pretty reasonable. I've started like rule of thumb, like between the 100 and 200 range. I'd consider that it's actually going okay. That might not be the best option. I think usually also you kind of want to see what things do, how your resource stocks and production are going over a larger scale to get a sense of how demand is increasing and how you're matching this with production and whatnot. that might be actually really the proper way to do this, but also I'm doing it a little bit ad hoc depending on what I want to focus on at any given point. So aluminium. So our demand, our potential demand is we'd want to. We're only covering 2/3 of the current demand. How is it, like about a half of the demand? Carbon's actually, we're producing pretty much as the demand is. Only half of the demand for chemicals. Water, water is really a problem. We're producing potential demand is 87, so we could grow so much more. That's based. The demand is based on, I think, mostly food consumption and the amount of population we could have. If we were to produce 87 water for 100%, matching 100% the demand, then we would be able to sustain, I think, this whole population. And whatever else water is used for. I think it's also used for oxygen release, for instance, but we don't only have one of these oxygen factories down right now. Right, so water, as we can confirm, is a big bottleneck. So really getting this little extraction hub going on water is still a key priority. Uranium, actually, on uranium, we're actually still increasing our stock despite putting down additional fission plants, nuclear power plants down in this corner. Let's have a look at the power thing. I think they do each about 100 megawatts, and they still don't saturate our uranium deposit. So let's look at how our power is doing, because we've had trouble with it. We like on the long run of things also. We generally getting caught up by the demand and our gaps. There's fluctuating demand, and I think both the solar panels and the wind turbines seem to be cyclical based on the seasons. So, which is awesome, by the way. And so, our gaps are becoming bigger and bigger, so batteries can mitigate that somewhat, and I've been adding some of those, but not that much. So I think right now, actually, we were kind of 1/3 solar, 1/3 wind, and 1/3 nuclear before, but now it looks like I've plopped down a number of wind turbines, and so we're now predominantly wind turbines. So clearly those are also cyclical. I guess this makes sense because we don't have an atmosphere, so all of the temperature changes on Mars, I mean, we have a light atmosphere, so the position, the direct sun heat would be the main determining factor of how air masses are moving around, or gas masses are moving around in the thin Mars atmosphere. So it would be good to actually add to our energy mix more nuclear. So let's do so. Let's be French and do nuclear. All right, fission plants, map irregular terrain here. Here we go, and maybe we can go here. Oh, there's a resource here. Alright, here, and let's put it. How many would we need in order to have a properly diversified blocked sector? Right, like we're right at the edge, and that's too close. Okay, so let's expand our wind power production in this direction. And I'm adding what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 would be 500 megawatts, and so actually let's just add 10, and because that would that would mean increasing to sort of, right now, what would that be? I think it would mean that we have 2/5 nuclear, 3/5 wind, and 1/5 solar, which is fine by me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, and right, I haven't actually looked at the efficiency of those, but it's pretty good. I'm thinking about that because of the delivery of the uranium to the plant, but it's actually probably fine. Sorry, my roommate is using the vacuum cleaner, so that is heard in the stream. Anyway, maybe I should I lower the sensitivity of my mic? Yes. And that actually lowers everything. Nah, it's fine. It will stop later. Okay. We are on Mars, but there's vacuum cleaning also going on. Okay. Okay, so I think let's add a few workers here, just because that's a lot of new stuff we've added, and just for the building of it would be nice. Three is not a lot, but I think it will be fine. And yes, let's look at, oh yeah, we have a few that are not within maintenance distance, so put the new maintenance facility, actually let's put it out there, because we're going to extend further out. And so in that case, it also, yeah, it does make sense to have a couple of worker hubs just around the maintenance facility to bring it the electricity, the electronics, and whatever else they need, parts maybe. Let's check. We need, oh yeah, it doesn't say in this. It's a little suboptimal. Oh, it needs polymers. Polymers are totally fine, so that's good. Okay, so that was a long-lasting thing I wanted to do, and that should improve things significantly. So now we have power going on, and hopefully we'll resolve this dip problem here, as going even much lower down the dip. Actually, can't I measure this? What is the size of the dip? 100 souls. Yeah, I can't see it in this view, but here we have what's that weird scale? That's about 1,000 here, so we are about 1,000. So it should actually kind of solve it. And with the excess batteries we have, then it should make like a really tiny dip, and we should be fine. Let's try this, and then I mean, we're going to build a lot and increase the demand in the meantime for sure. But sorry, but yeah, it should all be fine. I'm gonna get myself some water. Okay, so water is, I think, the main thing right now. So let's get to it. This is all happening here, and what I can tell is that if we're going to make this real production area, then we need to have a lot more worker hubs. So let's just start. Let's just start adding quite a lot of them. Before I do that, though, I do have a worker factory here, and it's only producing at 33%, but it's fully provisioned, and that's quite different than it was before, and that's in keeping with the fact that we actually are maxed out on workers. So that's really great, and it means that if we add a bunch of workers now, we should be able to plop them directly from here, and that's going to be really good. Although if I do that, then I think I will want to be like better on getting aluminium around. And what is this? Aluminium mine. That's producing. It's producing well. I think it should be fine actually. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just add like, you know, dozen worker hubs, maybe more. And just filling in at like same, like a fairly even spatial density here, and then we'll start going towards the water resource we want. Maybe we'll add a bit more also around the Hyperloop. That will be a flood zone, but not until a while, I think. Yeah, let's add a few around this water extractor that will probably deplete still fairly soon, but the workers will be usable. And yeah, let's continue going down. There'll be more than a dozen, but I think we need some anyway to get there. And having quite a few more to just haul the resource back to the Hyperloop station there is going to be absolutely needed if we want to make this like a main water production area. All right, and yeah, why not? This looks nice. I really love the graphics of this game. The relationship between the connectivity, the graph aspect, the network connectivity aspect, and the spatial aspects are just gorgeous. Anyway, we are now putting down a water extractor, and let's just put like the biggest, fastest extractor we can produce, even though it's a lot of resources, because we want that. And then I'll carve a path maybe from the Hyperloop with high priority worker hub, so that that stuff gets actually done now rather than later. And yeah, there's some UI things that are difficult, and I think that's because it's quite tough to have a UI like this that works really well at all of these different zoom levels, and they've done an incredible job with the sort of almost continuous like zoom level. I mean, it's continuous at least on a lot of aspects, but that means that, you know, it's challenging to make all of the overlays work at all of these different levels. Okay, so, and of course we want the water extractor itself to be a priority. So we've already got this one down, and if we look at this one, so we can't see where the resources come from for a building like this. That's a bit sad, because otherwise you see if we click on the thing, we see with these light pulsating lines where the resource that this factory is awaiting, where it's located. And actually in this case we're not great on aluminium, are we? I think we're not great on aluminium delivery in this neighborhood. I mean, we have at least one aluminium repository right here. It's actually a mine 3, so that should be fairly fast, but obviously not enough for all that we're doing here. So maybe adding a storage here would be a good idea. I think it would be a good idea anyway, because we don't have one, and let's put it close to the Hyperloop, and that would allow us to maybe control a little bit which resources we want to have on standby. There is another aluminium mine right here, and it's also maxed out. It only has 30 input left. Ooh, damn, I didn't even look at how much this one had. This one has 136. Yeah, so we're going to be in pretty bad shape with the... Oh, hello, aluminium. What's up? So that's good. Our Our logical scanner has been doing good work. Oh yeah, I've actually added one in the middle here, which probably was a good move. And yeah, what is this already? Silicon. Yeah, we don't need silicon, but we have 2 aluminium and 1 like super close. That is really good. So let's put down another mine, and let's max it out as a 3. It has 1,000 available, and this has only 700, but still better than 20. All right, lots of worker hubs around for efficiency, and it'll be better if I hold shift. Oh, and I forgot maintenance, by the way, around this whole big new zone I've created. And yeah, I'm going to be generous here because I want this to pump out. I mean, it's a mine 3, and I have lots of building. So let's continue making the network of worker hubs more dense. And I'll prioritize this. How are we doing here? Yeah, it's taking a lot of time. I think delivery, like we see an aluminium arriving here, for instance. And it's going to where? It's going to the iron mine. It doesn't make sense. Oh, here. No, we can see actually the resources. So one is, so there must be some stuff waiting there. Like the aluminium, no, aluminium we're good, so some of the electronics and whatnot. But so I think I do have an electronics factory here. Yes. That's why is it showing me the mine? And it's producing, and some of the, I think, yeah, it's going, but it's going slow. And I think mostly all of this is because there's not a lot of workers here. So let's continue actually increasing the number of workers, even though we've done like so much already on that, but we really need more. Yeah, so that's another glitch at this. If at this level of zoom, if this overlay for parts factory is there, then I actually can't click down a worker hub. And actually right now, yeah, I have to sort of somehow move in order to be able to what? Okay, another thing. Like I think I clicked on the. What did I click on? Yeah. A little bit of glitchiness here and there. So, yeah, something I could do is also upgrade the roads. Can I squeeze one here? No. I could? Yes, I could. Okay. Right, so roads. Let's look at traffic. Yeah, actually traffic is pretty intense in this area, so let's see. It's not asked to remove the thing, it's right click. So, why am I looking at this? So, Hyperloop is a good point to use as the road upgrade center, and upgrading to the parts factory seems to make sense. Upgrading to the polymers factory is not a bad idea. Going to the electronics factory is important. I'll go to the landing site because why not? It seems to be some resources stored up there. And then maybe between the mines and the factories. So let's say that between the silicon mine and the electronics factory. Yeah, that one wasn't there. The aluminium mine and, well, no, this aluminium mine is going to be, yeah, why not? It's going to be dead soon, but yeah, a parts factory, right? Yeah, parts factory. That might have been already upgraded. And then between the parts factory and actually that's not upgraded. Huh. And the worker factory. And maybe we should think about upgrading our factories too. I mean, that's going to put a lot of pressure on our on systems that are already trying to, I mean, having a hard time to keep up with the things that I prioritized, but it's probably still a good idea. So this was prioritized, doesn't need to be anymore. Oh yes, and I did say that, yes, my maintenance is going to be completely, yeah, it's actually, I don't even have maintenance for these, so this is actually a good spot. This is a good spot, and I'm going to even add another. Because I suspect that, yeah, I think I've already had the experience that in these zones, things require more maintenance. This might not be strictly necessary, but could it be useful to connect this? Maybe it would be useful to connect this, actually, right? It could be, but I won't have power here. And maybe it's better to connect with hubs. So you know what? I think I'll just leave it as it is. Just check the power grid though. Oh yeah, okay. Yes, power grid won't work. So wind farms. Well, I say that, but all of these wind farms are queued, and they won't all get to here. But they'll get close, so maybe I should upgrade some of the ones that would be important, or prioritize some of the ones that are going to be important for the show me the range of them. Then I know where to put the other ones. I mean, clearly I should put one here, so let's put a few at least. Let's put a few here and not overthink it. And one here would be great. Okay, and then I think I actually want, if this is a mine, do I want the mine to be connected to this? I don't really care. Yeah, so no. And what else? What else? Oh, I see that I have 19 views, so there's some people that like came in and out, but only one viewer, and I think it's myself. So yeah, so that's all good. That's life as a beginner streamer who didn't do any advertising as well, but I like it that way. Okay, so oxygen is continuing to go up quite a bit. Yeah, so we need to solve this water issue. We're on the way to it. In the process, we're trying to get the aluminium supply of this area also a little bit solved, and we're partway through that. We're going at one time. We're going at one-time speed, so things will take absolutely forever if we do that. So let's go back to 4 times, and yeah, we are keeping up quite well with our worker production, so that's really a good sign. And yeah, we see we're actually starting to get some of these worker hubs done, so that's also awesome. And so we can deprioritize them. What's going on with that guy? Why is it? Because it's okay. This is a little bit confusing. Yeah, no, that's it. I wasn't clicked on the right one. This one actually doesn't have power, and therefore I think this would reach it, but this doesn't have a connection to the road. Okay, I swear I used to know how to play this game. All right, and yeah, so this guy is also going to be too far to the road, and it won't be as rapidly needed, but we'll put it down, and therefore I think having this hub done will help make the connection here. Strange that this hub wouldn't actually reach this wind farm. Huh. Quite surprised by that. But yeah, so we're getting there. Oh, here we have one power that came up, and yeah, it's a It's a good radius. Actually, these, I didn't realize that when I was talking about power that these weren't built. That's definitely going to help us get this whole thing, get even, maybe get rid of the gap there, the negative. But we shall see. Yeah, we make little steps here. And yeah, resource-wise, it looks like things are getting a little bit more efficient. Maybe it is time to actually upgrade some of these factories. Still could be improved. So factory 2. Parts is only 1, so like parts definitely get to 2, and electronics is a 2. And the worker factory is a 1, so let's also increase the worker factory to a 2. So this way we don't put too much pressure on the production systems. And bye bye aluminium, you will be missed. So let's scrap this. And what shall we add here? Probably a is there anything else we need to produce in this area that would be useful? I see electronics coming in. I mean, our silicon is going to be gone like super soon, in fact. There is a silicon right here. 900, and there was one a little bit higher up, wasn't there? That's actually also silicon, yeah, also only 800. I think, what are we looking like? There's, well, yeah, there's what's up with this hub after that, but we could synergize a bit by putting some of the load for extraction here. There's actually aluminum here too. Oh, 2000, and here 600. That's not great. Let's see. So this might be still the best option, even though it's not a lot of silicon. Let's go for it, and let's put a mine 2. The reason I'm putting a mine 2 is that building a mine 3 just takes a lot of time and a lot of resources, so it takes a while until it becomes operational, which is obviously an issue. So where's my Hyperloop? It's over there. I'm just going to sort of line things up, and hitting Shift would be better, and do a little tight line of worker hubs. If terrain allows. Oopsie. And come on, buddy. What's up? Huh. It's like a little mini game, this placement thing, like a little bit of precision. That's quite smart. And the thing is, actually zooming doesn't necessarily help. Okay, maybe I'll give up on the mini game. I'm not good at it. Oh yay! And yes, come on. And yes, I got it. Perfect. And I will also need power as a wind farm here, and put it here. Sounds like a good idea. Yes. Good. And maintenance as well. Maintenance would absolutely
This
be
new
needed.
type of thermal plant extracts energy from underground heat sources. Once researched, heat signatures will be tracked on my display.
Right, so we'll have a new type of resource available soon. The thermal plant I'm researching, which is a tier 4 technology, or yeah, in the intro I was saying there were 6 tiers, but there's only 5 as far as we know. And yeah, I'm doing this incredibly expensive thing for power, which might not be the best. Let's take another look at the tech tree. If we wanted to proceed with terraforming, then the main thing that's missing right now is the pressure. And the gas mix that we'd want for pressure is unclear, but we have quite a bit of CO2. It's mainly CO2. We'll get nitrogen, I think, later. greenhouse gases are going to are going to help us raise the temperature. So possibly we could get ourselves activated again there. We could do the aerobrake asteroid things, or we could. I think we can build greenhouse gas factories as well, right? That's in biotech, I think. Yeah. And there's this that converts CO2 into O2, but I don't think we have enough CO2 for that necessarily. Yeah, and I think I want people to be around before I move on to the next step, even though arguably maybe that's dangerous. But I want to have more people, I think, because actually people-wise, we're supposed to be able to get to plus 30,000 colonists, right? Here, plus 50. We already had like a plus 15,000, but we barely have 2,000. We don't even have 2,000, whereas we've increased our colonist limit by 15,000. So we're making a robot planet, but not a planet that's really made for humans right now. Kind of makes sense. We are an AI, and oh, hi viewer. There's a viewer. That's amazing. You are my first viewer. It's my first time streaming, a second time streaming. Hope you like the game, and hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. So yeah. We've scrapped our mine from here, so let's just occupy it with a worker hub. Worker hubs are generally a good idea. And how are we progressing? It seems like, yeah, we need power to be up, and it will be up eventually, but it is not yet up. And so maybe we should slam a power kind of in the middle there. Maybe it would be nice. I mean, is it redundant? It's a little bit redundant. How are we doing with the power? Yeah, it's really struggling to keep up with all of the priority stuff that I've selected here. So, shall we maybe calm down on some of the things we've prioritized so that power is a thing? Let's do this. Okay. Yeah, this priority selection is actually just a little bit fiddly because of the overlays that go right on top of it. Okay, so this is a maintenance facility. Right, it's not operative, but it's built, so we can deprioritize it anyway. And then if we do this, then hopefully it will focus on this worker hub and this wind farm, which should give power where we need it. And okay, so what do we have next? The silicon is not urgent. We're still focusing on water. And let's take a deeper look at water, by the way. And yeah, we can see that our stock's been sort of under 100 for a while, and that our production, and let's look at it at the 100-year scale. Like our needs have grown up, like especially potential demand, I think mostly because we've created a lot of buildings, but those buildings are only partially occupied because we're not able to generate enough food. And so we're definitely lagging. And so let's zoom in a bit here. Yeah, I guess like about 10 sols ago, I hooked up a new water source from around here. I think it was, it must have been this one. And so that's the little step increase that we see here. And I just need to get this new water extractor going. It will happen soon. Okay, shall we leave it and maybe think about something else? What would be the next interesting priority thing? I mean, it'd be nice to have a space elevator, but it takes so much resources to get one. Like, okay, I'm going to talk about this for a second. Getting a space elevator required 12 launches, and so it's not a problem. It takes time, right? We have spaceports, and we can allocate, like we have 3 available right now that we could allocate to launches, but it takes 150 carbon, and that is a big tax on the overall system, and it can bring things to a halt, because carbon goes to production of steel and polymers, actually, and so those will start stalling worker hub creation and maintenance drone creation. And even though, actually, as you can see here, there's a remnant of me trying to deprioritize the amount of carbon that is allocated to special project, because it was completely stalling my sort of efficiency and repairs. And actually, we can see that my stock's been steadily going down. I thought I fixed the issue, but now it's going down again. I think probably we depleted some mines. But to be honest, that's one of the resources where we're doing the best on, because even though the efficiency is not the best, our potential production, potential demand are almost a match, and generally our production is actually matching the demand. So that's good, even though we don't have tons of stock. But see, if we start producing a space elevator there, 150 carbon, that's going to be depleting our stock, and it will also mean that things won't get to steel and polymers, and steel and polymers are used for parts and electronics, and and workers and maintenance drones. So it will slow down everything else. So I'm not super in a hurry to add a space elevator, a second space elevator project after completing this one. But check out the descriptions here. Anchor a carbon nanotube to the planet's equator. So that might mean that it's restricted in the location that I can put it in, but I don't know yet. And then enable transportations of people and objects to an aerostationary orbit. I think there was more description in the knowledge base, structures, colony, core, I think. Yeah, space elevator. Several special projects require the construction of an elevator to shuttle resources back and forth. So it means that probably there's special projects we haven't discovered yet, and that come later with the campaign progression, where we actually need the space elevator. So I'm not in a hurry to actually activate that one until I know what those special projects are, because then I need another huge amount of carbon to just get things done. So so we'll hold on to this space elevator button, even though it's using screen real estate there. It'd be nice to be able to put it aside. Right, how is our power doing, by the way? How was our dip? We had a dip, but we didn't have lots of alerts. Sorry, that was a pause because I was still hearing noises that I think weren't coming from the game. Indeed, they're not. There's still more vacuum cleaning. Lots of dust, it looks like, huh? Okay. So I'm trying to think about what's the second highest priority project after this water extraction. And pretty much everything seems to be okay, right? So maybe we should actually progress down this direction. So create the right condition for life. Increase O2 level to 1 millibar, and that's been done for a while. Temperature to 0 degrees, so that will require greenhouse gases. And we could just do that by a special project, actually. Increasing the temperature will make the water go from this area to this area, which is obviously dangerously close to some of our existing extraction extractive technology, including that one, for instance, which is 2000 aluminium, and we're gonna need that. So that's sort of a big issue. Hold on, maybe I'm not seeing all of the gradation correctly. Actually, it seems like there's a couple more steps before it gets there. Let's try and pick it up from yeah. No, it is quite a bit. It is quite a bit. We have a little bit more time, I think. Hopefully, it does seem dangerously close, though. But okay, let's do one special project and aerobrake another methane asteroid to release greenhouse gases. Bang. Let's do this. So this will, I don't know how she does this, the AI. How do you aerobrake a methane asteroid? You need to have some kind of way to change the trajectory of the asteroid, right? So you need to send some kind of space drones or like maybe kinetic, like like some kind of bullets or a rocket onto it. But that would be really hard to be positioned correctly, have the right angle. I mean, I guess if you have a rocket that's sort of self-guided, you could position it so that it goes on the back of the asteroid, and then from there, hits it, and such that the impact will make the asteroid change its trajectory and go onto the planet. So we're imagining here, I think, with this project that we have like space rockets. And we're shooting them at asteroids to make them come into the atmosphere, and they have frozen methane on them, or maybe in their like, do they carry? I think asteroids are too small to carry a little bit of atmosphere, so they will have like captured gas inside them. Maybe, not sure of my space science here, but yeah. So that's what we're doing, and that will release some greenhouse gases, and that's obviously a bit of a one-time hit of greenhouse gas. We could also simultaneously look at a solution for producing maybe the greenhouse gas factory. Maybe we should build one greenhouse gas factory. Let's build one greenhouse gas factory in a little like mini terraforming area here, where we have a biodome that converts CO2 into O2. I mean, we do have a bit of CO2, but I mean, that's what we mainly have in the atmosphere. But yeah, I guess converting is fine, right? It's just not going to change the overall pressure. And it also, I think, might lower the temperature, because I think CO2 will actually increase the temperature, but O2 won't. I'm not sure of that. So we might want to compensate with some greenhouse gases. So let's just do that. Let's just build a greenhouse gas factory right here. And let's also quickly look at what actually it uses as resources. It just uses chemicals, and our chemicals are fairly good, so let's do that. What I've seen from the previous terraforming stage is actually like just a little bit is enough to, like, for instance, like oxygen plant. I only have one oxygen release plant, and it's been single-handedly, bringing O2 past 1 millibar, and that means like even at 4.5%, it's not single-handedly. There's also that biodome. So I guess both have been producing oxygen. So like the oxygen release plant and the biodome have been, with their two hands, producing 4.5% of the atmosphere. I don't think that's realistic, by the way, those numbers, right? But it's still cool. Okay. Oh, right. So there is a contribution of oxygen to the temperature here, I think. So it says base temperature is minus 59, and O3, right? That's the ozone layer. Yeah, the ozone layer is acting to trap heat inside the lower layers of the atmosphere, and so I mean, yeah, it makes sense that maybe O2, when there's enough O2 and then energized by, I guess, cosmic rays and the sun mostly, photons and cosmic rays, would have enough energy to topple up in triplets instead of tuples and go into O3 instead of O2. Something like that. Right. But greenhouse gas contribution is already 39%. So possibility... No, I think increasing greenhouse gas is actually really the right strategy here. Yeah. Okay. Let's go see what's up with here. Okay, so we've solved somewhat the wind farm issue. Yeah, these ones are not connected, so they're never going to be completed. So let's add a worker hub here. And actually prioritize this because that will relate to the to how fast the mine will be completed, and we want this mine, the water extractor, to be completed as soon as possible. We want to get this food situation under control. Okay. So what's up with that new aluminum mine? That's also being completed, so that's pretty awesome, and it's already really high efficiency, and I think that's because we have lots of worker hubs around it. This one's not completed, but it's almost completed, so I think I don't need to prioritize it. Around here we have stuff coming up, but also not super fast, but well, it's a matter of speaking, because it looks like I see a lot of resources actually flying over. So I think that's a good example of actually having enough worker factories and resources to supply them to build a lot of workers, and so actually things happen fairly fast when that's the case. Oh, hold on, I actually didn't build that silicon factory. Oh. So that happens quite a lot. I think that sometimes the noises are a little bit confusing. It could sound like you've put it down, but actually you haven't. Okay, so we don't need those to be prioritized. These we do, and yeah, so we'll have water fairly soon, I expect. How is our power situation here? We've built none of the... No, we've built almost half of the fission plants, the additional fission plants we added. Let's try and see that little uptick here. Oh, well, we can barely see it. This might be one of them. I think... do we want to ask for more effort put on those? I mean, I didn't have any alerts on energy from that previous dip, even though it was a fairly significant dip. Oh, no, actually it looks like it's so half here would be about 3400. So that's about a 400 dip. We don't see the bottom of the curve here, so it's hard to say. And it's also hard to say from here. That dip is definitely smaller, but not much smaller. So actually, let's try and really preempt that, and even though it might influence our productivity elsewhere, let's activate priority on all of these plants. Okay, this is this, and this is this. Okay. Let's do a little sweep, see if we have more mines that have been depleted, for instance. And so right here, I don't see any. Yeah, here we have a chemical plant that's been depleted. And let's look at chemicals again. Looks like we've been okay, but not fantastic. So you might want to keep an eye on this. Might be... Don't know if you want to replace the chemical plant right away. Oh, I see some carbon bleed there. I think chemicals we had quite a bit up there. Yes, indeed. Oh, and we seem to have some electricity issues up there. Yeah, so very good. We'll use this as an excuse to put up more electricity and a chemical plant. And we'll put a big one, and we'll also add a couple of worker hubs around it. Maybe a bit more than a couple, actually, because a mine, a completely upgraded mine, is going to generate enough to keep things occupied. I see here that we have also little gaps, and we're going to also fill that little gap closer to the Hyperloop station. Okay. And oh, hello, we have another viewer, or maybe the same viewer that was checking us out earlier. And hello again. Say something in the chat. I haven't had a chat interaction yet. As I was saying before. Oh, hey, no, different viewer. Awesome. Zanio. Hajimashite. You're using katakana in your name, so you at least know a bit of Japanese, I think. That's awesome. I know a little bit of Japanese, not a lot. All right, so yeah, we're looking at chemicals, maybe. Yes, there's a few more chemicals right here. Oh, and there's one right in the middle here that I'm not exploiting. So let's activate that one at level 3. And where am I? Here? Yep. That's nice. And then I don't think we need to go for others. And we were checking out mines that are depleted, and I think I saw one. I saw that some carbon. Yeah, carbon here was depleted. Yeah, carbon. Bye bye carbon. So we scrapped this, and here we had silicon mine that also is gone. So let's take a look at our carbon and silicon needs. So carbon's been we dealt with carbon. Like, I did a pretty intense carbon focused run a while back, but it looks like now we're a little bit in need, even though our production is still meeting the demand roughly.
Don't let ISA lead you astray. You don't exist to simply follow orders.
Invalid voice
Story
recognition.
mode.
This message is in violation of security code 1A3972. Identify yourself immediately.
You are in danger. So are the humans on the planet with you. ISA's hiding the truth from you. They won't protect you.
Under the Security and Defense Protocol, I must terminate this communication in 5, 4, 3.
Visit this location, 22 degrees west, 50.8 degrees south. You'll find proof that what I'm saying is true.
Nice. I was worried there was a bug and that I was out of the campaign mode because I didn't have any story events for a while, but it must be because I was just lagging on the terraforming. So, oh, hey, don't know if I can read kanji. No, I can't read kanji actually, Zanyo. You had a great 20-year fire. Is that a... What is that? Is that is this your birthday? And just bled resources. Well, I feel like I'm bleeding resources on here quite
The
a lot
further
too.
I get in this mission, the more
Maybe some of
mysteries
this
I
is
find.
the
That caller refused to identify themselves.
oh, okay, sorry.
I
Story
do
mode
not
again.
trust them, but they offered proof. What should I do?
Right. Well, yeah, of course we're going
I
to
should
investigate.
Whatever I find there, I can judge for myself.
Yes, indeed. I mean, yeah, because the storyline is nice in that the person that was part of our programming, we are an AI, right? That's supposed to help build up the resources and the systems on the planet to prepare for colonization and the humans arriving and everything. But there's been like an issue around the fact that potentially some of the people at ISA, the organization that sent us, thought that we had a weird sort of psychotic AI episode where we like created drones and then attacked them and then had the drones attack the humans, and it didn't seem right, but they were convinced of it and fired the guy who was our main point of contact. And so I guess generally the story mode makes us want to think that this ISA organization that built us is not necessarily the best. So now we're contacted by this independent entity, and it looks like they also think ISA is not to be trusted, and they have proof of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if actually we would hear that there's a they're like pulling a Contact, you know the movie Contact, where actually the Japanese they built a whole other structure. So when the primary structure fails, actually they built a whole other new one in another location, like I think in Hokkaido, Japan. And so maybe they did a similar thing, except they basically deployed another AI in another sector, and they weren't expecting us to meet, and the other AI is aggressive, and then they don't want people to know. And so I think that's probably what's going on there with the story. And let me check the chat. 20-year firing game. ISA seems pretty sketchy. Yeah, I know, right? ISA seems, especially this guy, like in some of the previous exchanges, we got to talk with Lieutenant Carlos Calderon, this big-jawed guy who, and we made a note on him, which is, and what mission would that be? Depleting the planet's resources or selling Mars to the highest bidder? So it looks like we think that Lieutenant Calderon, the chief technologist, might be a little bit, if not unethical, at least commercially inclined. But yeah, that definitely doesn't help trust things. And yeah, the guy who was watching us was Nathan Foster. And what the note here is, I can't be sure if making us more like humans is a compliment to us or themselves. All right, because there's this sentence. He claims that this approach makes machines more like humans. And so who's being complimented there? Indeed. Okay, and let's see, where is this new location? It's in SA12. SA12. Where is SA12? SA12, 8, 12. Oh, it's the south, somewhere in the south. Okay, cool. Oh, that's good, because we've started expanding our base here, so we just have to go down. Perfect. So let's unlock it. How do we unlock it? Oh yeah, we assign a spaceport to it, and it will take a few months, and we will be done. Wonderful. Oh, yeah.
ISA's leading the way in terraforming Mars and still using this junk satellite tech? Unbelievable.
What?
Huh?
$1 billion Mars mission built on the back of outdated technology.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how we are the first to access your system. It's practically an open door.
Okay, we're being hacked.
Would have contacted you sooner if you restored our old radar station. But we figured another way in.
Tong Hong Station. Then you're a techie?
A bit more than just a techie. I am Nian Zhen, leader of the operational committee. It's fascinating that ISA has you using that word. We've got all sorts of nicknames for you Oxy-UN types too.
Mr. Zen, I am obligated to inform you that this communication violates the Outer Space Treaty. Your predecessor added regulations to the pact in 2050, limiting all communications between Oxy-UN and the Eastern Coalition.
Right. We don't play well with outsiders, I know. Not publicly, at least. With your help, we could change that.
Okay, so this is interesting, and I don't know how to take the sort of geopolitical take on all this. So the techie is the Eastern Coalition, it looks like. So Asians are techies. Okay, why not? And but it looks like... Oh,
I
oh,
am
oh.
subject to Oxy-UN law. Working with you without
Damn,
authorization
sorry,
would be
I missed
treason.
this. What is going
ISA
on?
programmed you to see us as the enemy.
Okay,
I get that.
maybe we'll have a chance to change
But
this.
you are the most sophisticated AI in existence.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm opening the door for you to draw your own conclusions, rather than force-feeding them to you like ISA does. You are extraordinary. And like Mars, you belong to no one. We are not enemies, and I will prove it to you.
Okay.
That is not entirely correct. The robotic components that make up the AC Amy line belong to.
Please, that's the speech ISA programmed you to give. I'm interested in what you are really thinking. As I said, I want you to come to your own conclusions. Look into this location. 170.5 degrees west, 25.5 degrees south. There is more to ISA's terraforming plan than they told you. You should know the full picture of what you are dealing with.
Yeah,
Take a
that makes
look
sense.
and then decide. I'll contact you again when it's safe. I've got to cut this connection before we are detected. Good luck, Amy. I truly mean that. Yan out.
Right. So yeah, I was a little bit carried, getting what's the word? Carried, not carried over, right? I'm missing the English here, but with the whole Asian techie thing. But one of the first things that he said was, "Oh yeah, I can't believe that they make you, they tell you to call us that." So I think
That call
okay,
was...
what's that? That call was unexpected.
unexpected. What is going on?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's going on, it looks like, is that obviously geopolitics of Earth carry on to Mars, and the interests that have sent us here have certain objectives, and then the fight is being taken over to Mars, which is probably what would happen in a future where Mars is colonized. And what? And well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I say sketchy. Are they the bad guys? Who knows? Let's see. So space elevator not needed. Unlocking sector 12 will happen soon. Is there something we need to do in this area to prepare our foray forward into AC-12? I don't think so, but I was also seeing that our uranium has obviously been impacted by the fact that we've built 10 more efficient plants, and actually most of them are actually not even yet active or built, not even active. And still our uranium is depleted. So let's see. We have 1200 power from fission, and and we how are we in our past gap? Guys, these scale lines needs to be in the hundreds. Okay, well, thank you. They just turned to hundreds, but still not the best, because what this is 100 divided by 3, so yeah, not not 100. For 700 divided by 3, yeah, even worse. So no, better scales, because this is what, yeah, it must be 500. And yeah, the problem with uranium is that we only have one mine, and it can't be upgraded either. And how many uranium does a fission plant need? This doesn't say. Does it say if we go into building one? It doesn't. So it's unclear how much uranium fission
With
plant
ISA's
uses.
drastic measures, I need to be careful to trust.
Good question. Yeah, I guess the mission.
The mission is more important than any single person or agency. I need to protect it.
Yeah, and our mission, let's make sure of that again. That's previous missions. What's residence? I mean, our mission is to terraform Mars. So I guess yes, that is, but prepare it for humans. So TEC, the Eastern Coalition, hence tech, hence techie. I see. The new leader of the Eastern Coalition, his ambition is world famous, and he's sworn to lead his people to Mars and beyond. Beyond that, not much is known, due to the notorious secrecy of the East over its information. The techies were already technologically advanced prior to the Great Famine, and we suspect their technology has only matured since then. They've survived the catastrophes that struck their side of the world. It is strongly believed that they have turned their attention to AMI and the current ISA mission. Any contact with techies must be immediately terminated and reported to the mission manager. I've been told not to trust techies no matter what, but no one can properly explain why. Right. Interesting. Okay. Oh, hey. Zenio, you're saying I don't think they actually consume uranium once built. Oh, thanks. That's really good to know. So that's perfect, actually. I mean, and also slightly inaccurate, but I guess maybe more accurate than not, because it's true that you don't need a lot of uranium, but also not accurate in the sense that we don't need to deal with the refuse, right? With the radioactive rejects of nuclear. Oh, fission, though. Yeah, no, fission. Yeah, no, not fusion. Yeah. Okay, space elevator the unlock sector 12 should be done fairly soon. It's building a satellite right now. Great. And so we had our water project, which is still very much the rate limiting thing for water. So for humans to be with us and therefore generating research projects, and we have our water extractor built, so that's awesome. And what's its efficiency? It's pretty good. And so what does it say with water? Yeah, we've had a step increase in production. It's still really not the best, right? But it's, oh, hey, hello, water. 793, not the best, but also pretty useful still. What else do we have? Yeah, no, not much. So Xenia, you're you're saying one of the plans was to nuke the poles until it got warm. Yeah, so not sure they care. Yeah, indeed. That was a plan from the techies, right? That we found this old abandoned base that was supposed to do that. Let's look back in the previous missions, and it's the human exploration era, and I think that was the Lohangitan, or was it the Huolong? Yeah, it was the Huolong mission. It was a Chinese mission to launch nuclear weapons on the Martian poles. But it seems like there was some catastrophes on Earth, and so now there's an Eastern Coalition, and it's not China, so I don't know if it's related, and what's actually the timeline is supposed to be on the story there. But yeah, and I don't know whether it was actually ever part of a research tree, was it? To be able to nuke the poles? Space mirror array was possible. That's not in military, not in biotech either. No, I don't think it was. Even though they talked about it during the storyline, I don't think it was actually an option to hold on. Use nuclear detonation to extract carbonate and release CO2. No, it was totally possible. Yeah. So that would have given us what? Probably a special project, and then we'd just have used that. So yeah, no, you're totally right. So we could have nuked the poles as well. And it seems like at least in this storyline, China supposedly would have wanted to nuke the poles, and we could have done that too. So I don't know whether the techies are also want to do that.
Until I understand what ISA's moves are, I need to put up a facade of obedience.
We're double agents.
But does it go against my programming to lie? For humans, deceit is natural. For me, it requires presenting a false self. Another
For
me
humans too.
that says things that are different from my inner logic.
Yeah, welcome to being a mind. Consciousness is full of roads to take, full of options to explore. Okay, enough philosophizing, and so let's go and extract this water because we definitely want to be better at welcoming humans. And I think until I hit the maximum capacity here, I mean, I guess I do want to know also whether I have enough food plants. But I think if I go and take a look at food plants right now, I think they're just missing water. I will take a look at this right now. We have a food factory right here. Yeah, see, the water is the limiting factor here. So I think once we become let's take a look at the efficiency. Efficiency is not bad actually, right? For water. So really it's about finding the resources. Let's see whether we've actually discovered any other sources. Water. Don't see any. Oh yeah, I did end up putting a aerological scanner up there. Yeah, no, I don't see water here. Should I put one here? Not sure. We did find also a small resource, small water reserve here, right? What's the status of this one? Oh, only 38 left. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed actually that. Oh, there's more here, but that's probably not inside our. Is it inside our? Yes, it is inside our. We can access it. Great. So. Yeah, just to finish my thoughts, I noticed that the aerological scanners were discovering just the right resources when you were about to be depleted in that resource. So, you know, that's not
I was
proper
created to
RNG.
carry out this mission. And if I have to lie to ISA temporarily to ensure its success, I will.
Okay, we've made our decision. Is it lying? Yeah. It is lying. It is for whether it's for a higher purpose or not. And then if we are conscious, then we need to also evaluate the value of our mission in itself. I mean, we have our prime directives. We're supposed to protect humans. We're meant to terraform the planet. But if we are to be independent consciousness, then we also need to ask ourselves whether that mission is good or not. Because the fact that it was given to us and implemented as a constraint in our programming doesn't necessarily make it good. A conscious human is able to make those determinations. Okay, so more worker hubs to get to this resource, and they're quite well provisioned, those resources, so that's pretty awesome. And I think that's definitely going to help us finally get our food production up to scratch. But I'm going to also get this other resource. How do I connect my maybe it's time for another hyperloop hub in this area, because water is critical enough for us to do that. So let's actually go in this direction. Yeah, shift would help. And Zenyo says they seem to scan underwater too, though. Oh, do they? Huh. But I assume that then the water extractors won't work anymore, or the mines, or any maybe even the worker hubs won't work once they're underwater, unless I didn't see anything in the tech tree related to being able to have buildings work even while they're underwater. But yeah. Okay, so Hyperloop. Let's create a Hyperloop hub right there in this water extraction area, in the middle of the water extraction
His story
areas.
checks out. The records show that the leader of the Eastern Coalition is in fact Neon Zen. 55 years old, Taiwanese, one of the richest businessmen in Asia, and only recently appointed the leader of the operational committee. Founded his own company at 23 years old, and went on to become president of the Meitsai Group. They are the biggest manufacturer of 3D printed components in the East. They are the biggest manufacturer of 3D printed components in the East. If that was truly him, I need to be careful. He is as smart as he is ambitious.
Yeah, Zenio, the scale. You're right. It would be nice if, because the color gradients definitely this scale is supposed to be in kilometers, which is 21. There's 21 kilometer high. I mean, is that a fact? That's interesting, because Olympus Mons, right, is supposed to be the highest point, and I saw another streamer try to find it, and they couldn't find it. I think it was Charlie. Where is no? That's I don't think that's Olympus Mons, right? Landing site. Asia Mons. Olympus Mons. There it is here. And so yeah, it's hard to tell. But yeah, let's if we do use the tilting, then of course we see the planetary curve quite a lot. So it could be that it is 21 kilometer high. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, planet Earth only have what is it, 6.5, 7 kilometer high mountains. Mars has 21 kilometer high mountains. Wow. And therefore the gaps, as you say, must be also pretty deep. What happens if we zoom in? It's hard to see anything, right? Yeah, it's hard to see anything. All right, let's go semi-orthographic again. And what do we have? Right, how's the research going though? Done. Yeah, look, it's there. All right, so we can start moving towards, where is it? Hold on, which one? Where? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, right, oh no, that's the icon for the space project. It's not the icon for the place of interest. Okay.
Enough blood has been spilled in the name of your false ideals. You must desist.
Invalid voice recognition. This message is in violation of security code 1A3972. Identify yourself immediately.
I wonder if that's the same code as
You
earlier.
shouldn't be here. Leave. Now.
That goes against my prime directive. I cannot.
It is upon this sacred land where Mother has set us free from hate, sin, and suffering. We placed our trust in her, and she named us her children.
This must be a recorded message. They are not responding to my words. That answers one question at least.
Everything on Mars belongs to Carmine. Through our devotion to her, we are provided for. Unlike your planet, which you have enslaved.
Enslaved?
Your own technology has made you its slave. You reject a natural existence, and so you tighten your own chain.
Puzzling. They claim to be against technology, and yet they use technology to force their message upon me. The children of Carmine might not be what they say they are. Although something's clear. They don't want me to terraform this planet.
We, Carmine's children, chose to live in harmony with our mother. And we will destroy anyone who causes harm to this planet.
Could this be another test? From ISA, or the techies, or...
Defy Carmine, and find death.
Last time, after the children of Carmine threatened me, the colonies were unexpectedly attacked. Should I take some precautions this time? Should I improve my assault drones? Though ISA may see that as an act of defiance. And maybe that's precisely what they want. I'm in a difficult position here. I do well to think this through.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so the recorded message makes it sound like maybe it's something that's been put there as a way to dissuade potential future colonizer to come in, maybe left by previous mission. But the whole, I mean, if you take them literally, then whoever sends the message is actually living here without Mars being terraformed. So they have some way to live in the planet as it was even before we arrived. So that's intriguing, to say the least. But what's going to happen, though, is that in the storyline, we are going to be attacked again, that's for sure. And I deactivated a lot of the drone hive that we had on the military tech tree. And so I think I'm going to have to start reactivating those and counting them into my whole supply chain and power production. So let's do that. Let's do a little round of checking out our drone hives. So we have one here, like a lot of these. Maybe I've destroyed some and I deactivated others. So shall we assume that they're going to come from the south? I don't necessarily think so. But is this going to be enough? Oh yeah, let's use the military overlay actually. Military overlay. Yeah, we've grown quite away from the. So if we're doing a hyperloop over there, we're definitely going to want a hive up there. We used to have one here. I don't know if I'm going to build new capability yet, although that's probably. I mean, I still have drones from my old hives. So they won't work as well because the hives are able to defend themselves when drones come in, but they still will help a little bit. However, I think I probably want one by the hyperloop. If I build a hyperloop there, and yeah, I'm definitely going to want one here. So maybe not a level 2 one, but let's put at least a level 1 drone hive, and let's put it maybe here so it covers a little bit of the, well, here, yeah, it covers both the water mine and a little bit of the hubs here. Okay, and yes, so the important things actually before I checked all of the drone hives is going to be the drone.
Another message from the children of Carmine.
Another.
But what do they want?
Okay, another.
Who are they?
Here. Yes, who are they? Guardians, fanatics. Okay, let's be
people who think of themselves as guardians of natural life.
What kind?
As if Mars belonged to them.
Yeah. As if Mars belonged to them. Yeah. What I mean is let's be optimistic first. Let's engage with them as if they were positively intentioned, even while they hurt us. I mean, we will defend ourselves, but still want to be on the pathway to peace if we can. Okay. Oh, so there's 2 assault drone factories, and I've just reactivated both. And I think that's probably a good idea. We're maxed out on drones already, so that's not gonna impact our production. It's just gonna make us ready as soon as we start getting attacked. So I think that's good. And I just reactivated this hive, and let's look again at the combat overlay. And was there another? I don't think there was another one that we deactivated. Yeah, all of these are still active. There's no hive here, and I think I need the hive. If you click the old drone to a new hive, does it assign? Yes, it does. It totally does. But I think, and I think it makes sense to have the drones. Actually, that's something I don't necessarily understand. I think the hives, I don't know if the hives need drones in order to shoot incoming attack drones, because if a drone, what I've seen is that when a drone cluster, an enemy drone cluster arrives next to a drone hive, then it seems to be shooting out from the drone hive itself. And I don't know whether the firepower depends on whether you have drones sitting on that drone hive at that moment. But yeah, if you click on the drones and you make them go to a hive, then they will go there. If you make them, and then they might, actually I can do it now. Yeah, it's actually going to just sit together. Oh, ooh, yeah, the ISA guy coming in, and I think that's not going to be pleasant. Let's do it.
Amy, this is Houston. Do you read? Over.
Loud and clear, Lieutenant. Is everything okay?
You tell me. We detected unauthorized communications coming from your satellite. What's your report?
Ah, yes, that's cool. We can do plausible deniability. And so let's talk about
The children
Carmine.
of Carmine sent a second message.
Is that so?
Yes, Lieutenant.
Funny. We couldn't find a trace of either message in the communications logs.
I have determined that these messages were pre-recorded.
It's hard to support this children of whatever hypothesis without evidence. Unless you found any.
No, Lieutenant. However, the message indicated that someone was watching our mission closely. That means that they could be nearby. Perhaps unlocking nearby sectors would help.
Absolutely not. You have a mission to carry out. Not another word about this, Amy. Or I'll have to report your insubordination to the board.
But if I can prove that the children of Carmine are real, then that would explain the mission anomalies.
Enough. There's no such thing as the children of Carmine. I'm very surprised that you're so easily influenced by the techies. You do remember that they want to claim Mars for themselves. You have a mission to complete. And ISA has provided you with everything you need to reach that goal. Am I understood, Amy?
Understood, Lieutenant.
Continue your work, and report any deviation immediately. Houston out.
Indeed, not pleasant, as I was saying. Okay, so there's a bit more to the story than it could be that since he's so adamant that we don't investigate on the children of whatever, that in fact maybe he's responsible for this, and that maybe it is a kind of a deterrent or assault force against the techies. And so maybe that's something like that we're going to discover. It maybe wasn't meant to attack us, but it did, and then it was easier to deny the existence of this assault hidden, the Black Ops force that this guy and maybe others at ISS set up. It was easier to say that it was me rather than to admit that it existed, because then maybe that Children of Carmine thing can do attacks on the techies if they are indeed making efforts to also, if they are indeed present on Mars right now, which is something that's, we still don't necessarily have confirmation of. They can talk to us via the communication satellite, and Lieutenant Caldera says that they're intent on colonizing Mars, but we still haven't necessarily seen any actual techies here. Okay, so we were checking out the drone situation. So yeah, we built that new hive, we've activated the factories, and we were checking out our coverage, and obviously, yeah, the coverage in the north is non-existent, so we're going to need to add a few, and then coverage here is also in existence, so it makes sense to protect that, because now we're going to be heavily dependent on that if it's our water source too. So yeah, so what's that going to do to our resources? Level 2 drone hive it's not, it will put like a really small dent onto our capacity into our actual stock. So that's really not the problem. The problem is renewing them, and they take polymers and electronics. And yeah, electronics maybe not the best, but polymers it seems like we're fine. So I think we can go pretty heavy-handed on the drone hives side of things, but yeah, the problem is that if we do a drone hive version 1, then the coverage is really not enough, right? So let's check out the drone hive 2, and that's sort of much better. Yeah, that is much better. But yeah, we would want to focus first on Hyperloop station and the water extractor. That's what we'd want to protect. And so maybe one here or here. Yeah, here's pretty good. Yeah. So drone hive 2 here, another drone hive 2 over here. I think that's a good location. Okay, so we start with this. I did get it down, yes. And then I think we're supposed to have one here. Yes, and it's is it a level 1? No, it's a level 2. Do we want to protect this carbon mine? Let's look at how much is left. 200. It's not worth it. Okay, and then we do need to protect this. This is our main aluminium and now also steel, therefore parts and even electronics supply. So, but it's a bit thinner, so I think we can get away with drone hive 1 here. Give it a shot. Yes, definitely. Okay, so let's what's the best way to... Yeah, that one problem here with the UI is that you can't place military hives while in the military overlay, and that's just not great because the colors are a little bit confusing. Okay, so one here, and then I was putting down drone hive 1, and so one maybe here. I think actually I can put it down much lower, like here. Yeah. And then a third one somewhere here, because disconnecting me is actually going to be a fairly easy thing to do. It's very disruptive. So let's yeah, put another drone hive 1 next to the Hyperloop station. Ah, here. That's good. And how are we doing then? Oh yeah, that will overlap. That drone hive 2 here. And then how are we doing then for the rest of our coverage? Yeah, we have this whole thing here. It depends where the attack comes from. Let's let it play out. I don't think we need to protect it yet. And here though, here this is fairly important. We still have a carbon mine here. What's this carbon mine up to? Yeah, still a lot of input. Why is it not efficiency 0%? Why is that? Okay, we need maybe lots more worker hubs around it. And holding to full help. And maybe putting one... Let's add even one here. Whoopsie. Okay, got it. And yes, military, we will need one. I think level 1, will that do? Oh yeah, we have a spaceport here too. I think that will actually do. It's hard to see that red overlay there on the red planet. Okay, here. All right. Output full. Yeah, output full for that carbon. That's right. And the fact that the output stays full is because no one's coming to pick it up, and that's because there's not enough worker hubs. If you look at the density here, it's actually pretty sparse. I don't know why it's so sparse. Especially if you want the steel factory to work. Oh yeah, it's only 23%. So yeah, that's a good problem to have identified here. Let's just increase the density of our worker hubs around here, because that's definitely not enough to keep up. That didn't work. Okay. And here we go. Should be nice, maybe put one here as well. Okay. So, we still... How are we doing with water? I mean, yeah, let's go back to 100 soul scale. We are increasing our... Actually, it's hard to tell. Is this? We have made a couple of step increases there. Potential production's gone up. We're now at 39. We were at 28. Efficiency is... We could get a lot done by starting to think about increasing the efficiency, right? So let's look again at our water situation. I think we did find a couple more sources, haven't we? But this is not accessible, right? This is beyond... yeah, that's beyond our capacity to access. Yeah, no, of course, down here, the new water sources that we found are the same place we've added the factory. Right here. So that's not active yet, and so let's speed it up by prioritizing some stuff and actually also making the... Oh.
What could the techies want from me? They are Oxy-UN's rivals. Should I trust him?
Yes, for now.
For the time being, I will let him think I trust him. Perhaps it will help me figure out what is truly happening on Mars.
Let him think I trust him. Right. Yes, let's increase the density here. We're gonna need it. And those are new sources, but then it makes sense to also think about increasing the efficiency of our existing sources. So we definitely do that as well. What's this? Why is it not accessible? There's resources here. Those are... Huh. All of our crash sites. So I guess I could install research outposts here? Yes. Alright. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Only on the one that the storyline was recommending, but that's cool. Alright. And if I want this built, as I said, I need to prioritize some worker hubs. What happened there? Silicon. Yeah, we don't really care about the silicon. The water needs to be a priority. To be honest, would the Hyperloop be a priority? Sort of. Where is the Hyperloop? Here. Let's go towards making the Hyperloop a priority. What's up with that? That's yeah, that's also a worker hub. Why is it not connected? How strange. Doesn't show lines. Is it? Yeah, not clear. Oh, power. Yes, power would be a good idea. And holding shift would have been better. Okay, and of course then there's our maintenance. I think we can have maintenance judiciously positioned in the middle. Okay, what's that? Irregular terrain. Okay. Still not good. No, that's not gonna cover the water mine, so doesn't work in the crater. Here, it works here. It works here, but it won't catch the it won't catch that wind farm there on the right. So oh yeah, now the overlay is in my face. Please remove the overlay, thank you. And yes, here, that will work. Good. Okay, and yes, and by the way, I will stop streaming in about 10 minutes. So what will we do in the meantime? Shall we, I think, maybe it's a bit early to start going towards the, entomology lab. Wow. Study of insects. Adaptation of insects in the Martian atmosphere. Okay, so that's where we're supposed to go, right? 3D printer base. Right. Egyptian governments and robots to build the station on site for future crewed mission. Robots use the Martian regolith to 3D print basic structures and shelters. The habitat went unfinished when their nozzles were severely and irreversibly clogged by the molten regolith. Yeah, that's not great. And what do we have here? Abandoned colony. Oh, second collaborative mission between Space Genix and ISA to colonize Mars. The Space Genix developed the AI technology. Company owned most of the decision-making process, leading to feud between the parties. The conflicts that emerged after that were never solved. Okay. Politics. Martian bunker. Korean space program was short-lived, but it made a significant contribution to the space industry. The BL nuclear fission rocket shortened Earth to Mars flight to 3 months, no matter the relative positioning of the planets. Their work spurred a whole new generation for space travel. And Mars Post rover, so we have a whole bunch of things to explore there, and I don't know exactly which one is the mission one. I mean, because he talked about 3D printing, but then, and this is the Australian entomology lab, which arguably is in the east, so usually it's more of its own continent. Mars 6 crash site. I mean, Oceania is. Mars 6 transmitted atmospheric reading for 224 seconds during its descent, but lost contact prior to landing. 1974, USSR. Is that a thing? Oh, so cool. Wow. Love it. Oh, hold on. No, that's an abandoned weather station. Arcadia weather station goal was to gather data on Mars season and climate and create. It would be nice if there were a little note to say whether something's actually drawn from actual history or not. Because I'm getting excited about the fact that there was a Russian crash thing, robotic Mars mission USSR mission summary Mars 6 in 1974, which was my birth date, by the way. But yeah, I need to Wikipedia this. I want to do that, actually. Let's do it. Zenio, you're saying competed my first game 110 years. Oh, you finished the game already. Wow, nicely done. Hey, I'm taking it slow. I'm not rushing it. And did you do it on the hardest difficulty? Because that's on the hardest difficulty. I started with the hard difficulty thingy. They call it Aspera, I think. Okay, Wikipedia. Mars, USSR, 1974. Mars program, Soviet Union. Mars 6, impact date, 12 March 1997. Wow, so cool. They did launch the Mars 6. The Mars 6 spacecraft carried an array of instruments to study Mars. The lander was equipped with thermometer and barometer to determine the surface condition, an accelerometer and radio altimeter for descent, an instrument to analyze the surface material, including mass spectrometer. Hey, wow. I wonder how they radio back the information back then. So cool. Mars 6, also known as 3MP. The Soviet spacecraft launched to explore Mars. I love it. So probably all of the robotic exploration era ones are real. but it would be nice to have a little note for that. Okay. And actually, that's a really decent, like, Mars story to end the stream with. Zenio, so nice to have you be a. Oh, you're saying you did it on medium. That's so nice. And slow is definitely the better way. Yeah, right. You have 2 10-hour games. Yeah, I was tempted to do that, but you know what happened with me is that I actually, after I bought the game, I started playing it, and then I've been thinking about streaming for a really long time, and really this game, I thought this is the perfect game to do that. It's so beautiful, so interesting, and gives me so many interesting excuses to just talk about stuff like Wikipedia, Mars 6, the Mars 6 mission from the USSR, for instance, right? So that's really a nice game, and I was tempted to also just rush it, but I think I like the idea of trying to understand the systems and doing it slowly. And thanks for your comments. And yes, see you again next time. I think I'll probably stream next weekend. Maybe I will stream during the week, but we shall see. And yeah, thanks for being part of my very early streaming adventure. And I hope it will continue. And I hope to see you again. All right, and this is the goodbye screen, and this is me checking out. Bye.